That's from that's from an hour ago when I realized, oh crap, I don't have an intro for
You don't have a new intro.
you know.
Oh,
I do now though. We do now.
yeah.
Aha.
Dang. When we haven't done one of these since last year.
Oh, you know, you nearly got me. You nearly got me. Look at that. Yes, there we are. We are here early.
Yeah.
Considering.
Usually it's about 10 after or so. So it's new year, new time.
Well, half of it was me sitting here agonizing over which of these 9 I'm picking for my top 5.
He didn't want to just go get one more and make it a top 10. Gotta keep it that top 5.
Nope. I called it a top 5. I got to stick with it.
Golly. It's been tough. I mean, last year was insane. I had to, I've been doing a top 20 list for a long time because I collect a lot of stuff and I just couldn't get it down to 10 anymore. But this year I had to say that I'm not counting like vehicles. It's just for favorite figures, not vehicles and play sets, because from 2 turtle vans, a sewer layer, a hiss tank, another sewer layer, a thunder tank, a Batmobile. I mean, it's crazy.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Exactly. What are we going to do with all those birds? And what are we going to do with all those vehicles?
When you said vehicles, I was like, I've only gotten one. And then I realized, oh, no, I've got a couple, but nothing like you. I don't know. Well, I do, but I can't imagine your space right now with your vehicles and everything.
I'm still... I've got there are a couple of things that I'm not exactly sure how they're going to go still. I still don't know where that Keaton Batmobile is really going to land permanently. I'm not sure if I've got the Super 7 turtle van in its permanent spot, and I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the NECA sewer layer because it's crazy. Yes, I know it can fit underneath those, but then my display would like be a triangle. It would be weird.
Yeah, because I know this is old, but I just got this last week, so that would have been in the running if
it's new to you. It's new
if we were
to
doing vehicles. So
yeah.
It's new to me, and that's really what our list is, right? I mean, we're not looking for the best. We're not looking.
What's favorites?
Yeah, just favorite top 5. I keep wanting to say 10.
A combined top 10.
Yeah, it's a combined top 10. There's 2 of us. 5 plus 5 equals 14, right? 15. 2023 was yesterday, but
could have gotten something yesterday. I mean, I opened up the hiss tank yesterday. I was saving it for like my last unboxing thing, and I literally did it last night.
I walked over there to grab my hiss tank just in case we wanted to do vehicles. Spoiler alert, I'm calling the hiss tank my top vehicle of the year. But I also walked past the YOLO Park AMK Pro Series Megatron that everybody's been raving about that I've had on the box. Am I going to call that 2024 since I haven't opened it yet? That's because it looks good. It may be running for next year.
Well, and I've got things that are technically sitting in my pile of loot that got to there in 2023, but they won't get to me until later this week or something like that. So yeah.
I think I've got a little Marvel Legends Void series showing up. That Power Princess is looking sweet, but I don't have it yet. And that's what we run into a lot. Does it go through when it released or when you got it? Because I'm totally down for counting it when I got it.
Yeah. I think that there's actually something that is that I think there are a couple of things that I'll be getting soon that, even though I don't have them in hand yet, they technically released last year, and they do have potential to like be on a list because they look so good. And I trust people who have already gotten them saying that they're awesome. So it's tough.
Okay, Earl, here you go. Dun, Don't the Batmobile is already scaled down slightly to make it more toy, to reduce the price a little bit and everything.
Yeah.
So even the 66 Batmans, which are 6 inches tall, stick out of the top of this.
Yeah.
Whereas in the show, they were back down behind the windshield and everything. But
because what good is the windshield if you're looking over the top of it?
That's right. That's the wind flows up and over.
Oh,
but yeah,
lots of tough stuff. Usually, I can get my top 20 list together pretty quickly, but I agonized it over it because there were a couple that it was like, man, you're just on the outside, and that doesn't mean that they're not awesome, but I can't go more than 20. That's all ridiculous.
You were posting pictures this week, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I was sitting here, the chat was going before we got on, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that one. I've got to bring it over just in case.
Well, it was funny because it was like, all right, naming like the companies that I got the most from, it was like the floor was like 10 for that. It's like, I feel like if I got 10 things from a company, that means that I'm buying into them, pretty regular. McFarlane, I had 9, and I almost did it anyway because I didn't get a ton of McFarlane stuff, but I did like that Calabac a lot. The new Blue Beetle, that San Diego Batman was cool. The Batmobile, we talked about that.
Catman,
yeah. I like the anti-monitor too that I got from them.
If I'd pulled down Catman, we could have done top 10s. And I'm like you said, you had no problem if you're just reaching over, but going to keep it at 5. I may do 4 runner-ups, but
runner is up.
But the thing about it, I haven't even decided what my top 5 are yet out of these.
Yeah,
I'm just winging this as I go.
Well, and I was silly because I put I like handcuffed myself a little bit with it because with my like NECA pictures that I posted, I included that Year of the Rabbit set on there, but I didn't want to include that in my 2023 top 20 because it was technically early. Like nobody has that yet except for the, samples that were sent out. So I was like, I'm going to put that on the list for next year. But that would have made that list if I would have done that.
You mentioned rabbits. If that Captain Carrot had made it out to me,
I must have missed the platinum one. I cannot find a spot to order it. I want the platinum one so bad, but
I'm hoping I just run across it. I ran across the platinum Hawkman at Books A Million. Okay. So I'm hoping to do the same with Captain Carrot because the more I look, I'm okay with the regular version. But man, the platinum is so much better. It is so good.
If you run across 2.
Okay, I'll be on the lookout.
We actually went to Target yesterday, and I mean, it was everything was demolished. I did happen to find remember like way back when Mattel did the Rowdy Roddy Piper and the They Live Rowdy Roddy Piper. I think it was exclusive to Walmart or something at the time. That my order was canceled a long time ago, and I was like, well, I guess that's never happening. It was at Target yesterday for $11.99. It was my last figure purchase of the year, and it made me so happy to finally get that.
What is that? That's a weird return or something. Got to be, right? I mean,
well, I think they re-released it this year, and it wasn't exclusive anymore. But I hadn't really been keeping an eye out for it because I forget about it, and so I was glad to. I was really glad to find that. It was great.
Stupid says CMD Store has the platinum version.
Oh, do they? Okay.
A McFarlane Hawkman isn't a book. Wait, I don't get it. What did I miss something?
Books A Million.
Oh, it is. But they got them their toys over there. Yeah. Mostly McFarlane. Few G.I. Joe. few Marvel Legends. If you
I
see
have
2, leave one for the next collector.
I have a Books a Million that is just a little too far away to visit regularly.
Veebs, can we get a fireworks thumbs up for 2024?
Nice.
Is it
Yeah,
still?
there
Oh,
it is.
I didn't know. I haven't seen it a little bit. I don't think it happened at all the last live stream.
I don't think it did either. We were like more like, oh,
Yeah. Happy New Year.
yeah, Happy New Year.
Now, if this is stuttering, I don't know. I clicked the Facebook icon this time to stream there too, so I don't know what's going on. If this crashes horribly, then I'm blaming Facebook, not my internet.
You should blame Facebook anyway.
Okay. So if we were to throw a vehicle in real quick,
Uh-huh.
what would what have you considered the top vehicle? Because I'm going with this. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
Gotta.
Yeah. And like I said, I saved that one because it's like I wasn't under the gun to get like pictures done for it or whatnot, but it may be recency bias, but that is so nice. The lights are so cool. You can load it out in so many different ways. It still fits on a 12-inch deep, which is pretty much regular for me, shelf in the room. So it was like I didn't even have to think about where it was going to need to go because it goes right on the Joe shelf.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's tough though, man. I don't know a top one because I got to remember the Thunder Tank still came out this past year. It was at the beginning of the year, but that came out, and I mean that thing is massive.
No, that came out 4 years ago, right? Or
Right?
a long time ago.
I haven't thought about where I would rank them because I just kind of thought about it as kind of like a cumulative, holy crap, look at all the play sets and vehicles we got this year. And every single one that I got was awesome. And sometimes awesome in its own way or whatever else. So I haven't given it the thought to how I would rank them because man, that would be tough because even the Mutant Mayhem sewer lair, I wouldn't say that is like a hiss tank in terms of how it's great, but it's great because it's fun. So it's yeah. That's tough. That's tough.
I have it was between this and a Batmobile, and did we decide that the Keaton Batmobile was this year?
Yes, I think we did, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't remember. Like I said, it feels like forever.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, with figures, it's like I get so many of those that I feel okay ranking them for the most part. But with those vehicles, it's like I don't know. You have 4 runner-ups to your top 5. I have like 7 or 8 vehicle winners.
Good Lord. And you saying that, it was the year of the big vehicle, though, or the big item.
Yeah.
We've talked about that several times. Every time we turned around, there was a big-ass glass case at some con, and we're just, what the hell is going on? All this stuff coming out, and that was weird, isn't it? That's up against glass.
that's
Fingerprints.
That's the mime in the glass ball.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it next year already because the Dragonfly is coming. The Cat's Lair is coming. We know that
Eternia.
Giant Man is coming. Eternia is coming, and Trevor said during our chat that there would be another lair piece coming. So, and that's just what we know about.
Yeah, no kidding. It's January 1st, and there's already dread building up for the wallets, for the space in our rooms. Just
fortunately, Giant Man, the Dragonfly, the Cat's Lair, and Eternia are all already paid for. So that's like it's just the consequence of space.
Just
Sure.
waiting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of McFarlane and DC, I kind of low key love it that Spawn has been indoctrinated into the DC universe. Warner Brothers can't seem to be getting enough. Can't seem to get. Can't seem to getting enough of that character. I haven't been keeping track of Spawn much lately. So
You know, I don't have anything against Spawn, but I don't know anything about Spawn. Never appealed to me. It kind of like that superficial thing. So I don't really know Spawn that well. Happy New Year, Phil. Good to see you.
do a top 10 vehicle real quick.
Oh, jeez. All of them?
That's right. Window shopping. That's what Comic Cons are.
Yeah. 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 That's why I only own 2 Hot Toys figures. Because for years it was like I can visit the museum at Comic Con, the Hot Toys museum in the sideshow booth at Comic Con once a year and get my fill.
I missed that last year.
Yeah, so did I. Because we always take like at least a half an hour to wander around in there every year. So yeah. And it's funny because they keep, putting in that display that there would be figures that were old that they would put out there.
Mhm.
But I'd see it every year and still be like, wow.
What Black Series would you like to see this year? So many.
Yeah.
So, please. There's so many characters to be made.
Black Series with me, if I've got to like, it's like I want more aliens and weirdos, more Jedi, and more Rogue One figures.
Yep.
Yep.
And an actual book of Boba Fett.
That's crazy.
You know what? Jason posted something the other day that because we missed the Star Wars panel at San Diego Comic-Con. So I can't hardly remember the name only reveals or the pipelines or whatever as it is. I'm not even at the panel. I'm not going to remember it all, but I guess there were droidicas being shown. I mean, on
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the type of thing that it's like, you only need one. You only need one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's too easy to have a couple of those set up with like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon back to back. Oof, that's good stuff.
Destroyers.
Yeah, Master Destroyers.
A dragon is coming from Mythic Legions.
Shit. And a bear. Is the bear a vehicle? Does the bear count as a vehicle?
It's got a saddle. It's a vehicle, right?
I know. Oh.
We do need the troopers from Ahsoka, you would think. I mean, just pump out more stormtroopers with some red ribbon on them. Oh, Max Rebo Band is way up there. Yeah. If I ever get these damn 3D printers kicking again, that's
Rebo Band and all of the Cantina guys, all of them. It's like to me, it's absolutely insane how few of the Cantina aliens we actually have. And I get it. It's not like a guy, and it's not new media. But man, I think as far as Star Wars figures go, like back in the day. Now I didn't experience it because it was before my time. But anecdotally, it seems like those Cantina alien figures are what like made Star Wars toys what they were, right?
and for everything afterwards. It's like, hey, we need more aliens. And it almost feels like the past few years we haven't had near the amount or the same amount. We get glimpses here and there, but there just doesn't seem to be a lot of that.
Yeah. And since we're just getting out of the holiday times too, this one's easy because they did it for the 3 and 3 for the vintage scale. I want a Life Day Black Series Chewbacca. I know. It's easy. I can do it myself, but I want one.
we know somebody that can make soft goods. So
and I might have an extra 2 or 3 Chewbacca's laying around that I could use for that. And clear marbles are fairly easy to come by.
Oh man, Django's another one up there, huh? Now, he hasn't had that great figure yet.
Yeah. Man, that figure is short and it can barely stand, right? Is that am I remembering what
And
his
it's got a it's one of it's that figure that is like compressed at the torso.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And his feet are kind of rounded on the bottom or something too, aren't they?
Hmm.
I haven't
And
touched that figure in a while because I remember don't touch it because it's a pain in the ass to stand up.
and then the figure arts is small and kind of loosey goosey
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
It's a big anniversary for the Phantom Menace this year, hoping to
Yes.
get on to episode 1, especially more Padmes. That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Absolutely. And Council Jedi, please. Council Jedi.
Okay. So, you want to kick into runners ups or runner up? I'm just
Well,
going to hold 3 figures up in the air real quick and be like, here's my runner up.
okay. Do you want more time to decide? You want me to go with
Yes.
my runner-up first? Okay.
Yes, go for it.
Since you didn't select one of these, though, before I do my runner-up, though, I want to say that my favorite line of 2023, like across, I have a tie. I'm already cheating. It's a tie between all NECA TMNT and GI Joe Classified. Those are my. I tried to pick between them and I couldn't. So I'm having too much fun with both of them and getting all the stuff. So
We're
yeah.
just throwing all the rules out the window now, huh?
Forget
We're
it. Forget it. All right. So okay, but runner up. This one was tough for me because outside of my top 5, like the other 5 in my top 10 could be extremely interchangeable in terms of how they ranked. And I almost went with a runner up that wasn't going to be on my top 20 list at all. It was going to be like the runner up outside of that, just to give some props for that. And if that was the case, it may have been like the McFarlane, either the San Diego Batman or the who was I talking about before?
the there's Blue Beetle.
Yeah, oh yeah, the new Blue Beetle was definitely on there as well. But yeah. Anyway, though, I went with what should be, I guess, my number 6 on the list, and for that, I am going with the Four Horsemen Studios figura obscura Ghost of Jacob Marley, because this figure is awesome. And last year, the figura obscura Headless Horseman won my overall best figure. And this one was definitely a worthy successor to that. It's just crazy. The ghost effect with the translucent plastic on there, the chains and the keys and the money boxes, books and safes and everything else. This is just an amazing figure. It just came out. I love that they do these releases where it's not a pre-order. It's in stock. You order it and it's going to ship to you. It's beautiful. I'm going to put him on a little bit of a stand so that these things can be, holding him down a little bit. And I love the new parts that came with him as well, because I realize that it's not the like ethos of figura obscura to like make a bunch of characters from any one thing. Now in Marley, it hinted that there might be more from that, but the new pieces that came with him almost make it look like we could have some parts to maybe get a Ichabod. It's like there are some parts that make sense for an Ichabod crane, because I would love to have an Ichabod crane to go with the Headless Horseman as well. I get it. That's not the point of figura obscura, but this thing is just gorgeous, like the Headless Horseman. The first pictures I saw of it, thanks to 1/6 shooter, I fell in love with it, and I set my alarm for that Saturday morning to see what it would be, and I had that thing ordered before 8:01 in the morning. So I love it. It's great.
See, that's one of those figures that I'm waiting to, for some reason, running by your house and looking at,
Yeah.
someday and seeing in person, because I saw the original pictures. I was like, oh, that's damn sweet, but I have no place for that. And
Yeah.
then the more pictures I saw, the more it was like, holy crap, that's fair. That's really, really nice.
Yeah, and I was able. The Monkey King was a rad figure. Like you were saying, that didn't really like fit thematically into something that I had, so I skipped that. What was the next one? The red. Um,
Death, the skeleton.
yeah, the Mask of the Red Death, or whatever, whichever one it was. That one was cool. I regret not grabbing that one. I was out of town when that one was released, and I kind of just, even though there was plenty of opportunity to get it, I regret not getting that one. But this Marley one, it fits in that same kind of compartment for me as the Headless Horseman, and I love that stuff. So yeah. So he's my runner-up, and he's awesome.
I still haven't made the hard decisions yet.
You've got to make your decision. Yes.
A runner-up, huh? Okay. Remember, again, these are our favorites. It's not the best figure, or not even that. They're the best figures to me.
You don't have to qualify it. You don't have to qualify it. It's your choice.
I'm stalling. you know, back in the day,
this is going to be like those recipes that you find online. We're going to get the whole freaking like life story anecdote. Well, I was born in Arkansas. I lived in Arkansas, and my grandmother was a woman, and
or there's a whole how to lose weight, and then you're watching this video, and 11 minutes later they finally get to the point. Of course, we're 32 minutes in, so
yeah.
My runner up at this exact moment in time is I'm going to go with the NECA Dungeons and Dragons Zarek.
Oh, that is a lovely choice.
That is. Now, this did pull at some heartstrings because back when I was a kid, I don't have a lot of attachment to Dungeons and Dragons, the old line. There we go, right there. But I had this when I was a kid hanging out in my Masters of the Universe. I'd play with Great Skull, the He-Man, and the Skeletors would all run around and stuff. And he would always just be kind of down in the dungeon. I didn't know what it was until later when NECA announced this line and Mr. Veebs was all, oh, you weren't into the LJN stuff? Was it LJN?
Yeah.
Yeah. And going through that, it was when I saw the picture of the old... It was and all these memories come flooding in. That's a couple of these top 5 figures today, but yeah, it's some nostalgia that I didn't know that I had until I actually saw it. And so that's
what's funny about that is that I remember saying that to you, even though I wasn't into the original LJN line either, because I would have been like maybe 2 when it came out. So it was all post facto for me as well. But those designs are rad. That NECA line is so good.
You had a lot more knowledge about it though, because you had already.
I've got most.
You already have some of the LJN stuff.
I've got most of them at this point in time. Yeah.
And I hate to put these in any kind of order because really, if I could, all 9 of these would be just mostly, number 1. It'd be like, here's my top 9. Don't make me rank them, but just because of other things that I have sitting here, he comes in at number 6.
Well, he is definitely awesome.
He is.
Yeah, I love that figure.
Okay, for my second runner, no, I'm kidding. I'm gonna be able to slip one of these in here in a minute, along with another one. Just kind of, it was kind of a toss up between these 2. Yeah. So we'll see.
All right. So we're getting into the real list now.
I caught that.
Not old. It's just
you've
been right at about the sweet spot for that line. If you would have been right, I mean.
And that's probably what it was. And we were probably at a store or something, or a Christmas gift or a birthday or something. Somehow it made its way into my toy box.
Yeah.
See, okay. I'm vintage.
Yes. Okay. So we're into the top 5, right? Yeah. Top 5 honorable mentions. We almost did. We almost had to do that. So, number 5 for me is the Super 7 Ultimates Toxic Crusaders Junkyard. I love this figure so much for the colors, the details in the sculpting, the articulation that, especially for an Ultimates figure, functionally works really, really well. And to me, so when Masters of the Universe Classics came out, that was like oh, I'm saying it's a Revelation line when there's a Masters of the Universe line called Revelation now. But that line was like a revelation to me in terms of the style of it, how it took a vintage toy line and added details, articulation, and modern sensibilities to it. And it remains one of my favorite toy lines of all time. At this point, I feel like even though there aren't a lot of figures in the Toxic Crusaders Ultimates line yet, this line almost feels like the true spiritual successor to what Motu Classics started out as. Because yes, Thundercats have Ultimates and they're cool. Silverhawks as well. Even now Ninja Turtles, but they're not that updating what you had in your hand as a kid so much anymore, where this is. I should have brought the vintage figure over here because I have it as well. To me, this is a perfect update of something that, I had several Toxic Crusaders. I didn't have all of them as a kid, but they went right with my Ninja Turtles, and I think that's why I love them so much. And I really think as far as the spirit of like maybe what Ultimates originally set out to do with some of their lines is coming through big time in the Toxic Crusaders line. And I love this figure and I want more Toxic Crusaders Ultimates like right now, other that aren't just Toxie. And this is a really, really fun figure and I would highly recommend it.
That's another one of those lines that completely missed me altogether. And but looking at your shelves, I'm always like, oh, that's neat and stuff. This right here needs matte finish. From a personal standpoint, I would matte finish everything in my collection and all that, but that kind of leans into the vintage feel, the shininess of.
I was gonna say the vintage figures are shiny, so this works. It works for me. I've never even thought about that, but this to me is like stylistically,
right. But you also have a lot of vintage figures standing side by side in displays and stuff. And when I see that, it's like, oh, back in the day, there was some shine to some stuff.
Yeah.
But if it were, well, I don't know if I would do it or not. I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
In a nice matte spray, but.
Yeah. No, I'll be keeping my Toxic Crusaders.
That's right.
With the sheen that they have. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's another one of those lines. I look at your display and it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I can see how
it's
the
fun,
youngins would be
bright,
into this.
Colorful, yeah.
Let's see. Not so shiny after being played with for hours. So number 5.
Number 5. Pick, huh? Number 5. You got to pick.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna go with, because I'm gonna go with. People are gonna hate me. The Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Black Chrysanthemum. Because, and he's not higher on the reason he's on the list is because I agonized over customizing this guy for several months, for a while. I don't know.
Several iterations.
I think I made, several. I made 2 at least. I pieced together probably more than that. So when this was announced, I was like, finally, yes, I just love big Wookiees, and he's not as big as Chewbacca. I get it, whatever. But the reason he's not higher on the list is because I've still got to go through and free up some articulation here and here, and then give him some paint in places, just spruce him up a little bit. Now, me saying that, some people are probably like, well, then he shouldn't be top. He is, just because he's what I wanted. He's exactly what I wanted for the most part. except for range of movement and a little paint here and there.
Yeah, no,
So,
that's he would have he's in like my probably top 3, top 5 Star Wars Black figures this year. Spoiler alert, Wicket was my number 1, but you know, I'm sure
yeah.
people can say some things about that too. So
And there's so much stuff I forgot about, you know. But it's also the year of I didn't buy everything Star Wars. So, in fact, I cut way back, so my appreciation for some of the figures I did get is way higher than it would have been a couple of years ago.
yeah.
But like I said, he was on my list before they even announced him. You know, he was like, I need him. But I also read the Dr. Aphra comics. I read him in the comics. He appeared on the show. I went back, read some other stuff with him. But I'm also one of those guys that was happy with the comic book version.
See, I was going to mention that it's like after the comic version, and most people I think weren't real hip to that one. This
Oh,
one
I get it.
coming
Yeah.
after that made the shine of it even more, it seems, I think, with a lot of people. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was almost like, okay, to make a long story semi shorter, my son works at the movie theater and he works with somebody that when he goes to McDonald's, he buys an egg McMuffin and a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin. And he eats the egg McMuffin first because he doesn't like those as much as the sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffins. So he sets his expectations and then automatically raises them afterwards. That's kind of what happened.
You know,
I don't care for the, hey, here's Black Chrysanthemum. It's not what you wanted. But on some level, we knew this was eventually coming, you know?
well, that's relatable because I'm not going to lie. I save like the last bite of like my favorite thing on the plate, and it's the best bite of that thing. So I know.
We were out for breakfast one time and I had saved a piece of ham for last, and my wife reached across. That's still in. I've got an alarm set yearly to remind her of the ham apocalypse. Okay. So I can give her shit all day that day. Remember that time you ate the last bite of my ham? That's
Yeah.
almost grounds for divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That should be the song that plays when the alarm goes off. It's the DIVORCE.
Oh man, Chrysanthemum was my last figure I got in the year.
Wow.
Chrysanthemum seems too short. Your mental image of a Wookiee is, you know, to be super tall, but this fits how big he was in the show.
See, I believe that there was a shift at some point with not all the characters, but some of the characters in the line, because Chewbacca is real. I believe that figure is real. Is he real life scale and not movie scale? Is that what it was?
It was something. He seems really, really tall, but it actually works out to
It's like that's how tall Peter Mayhew is compared to everybody. But most of the time, when you saw Chewbacca, it didn't work that way on screen or something like that. I think there was a shift in there at some point.
Yeah, Wookiees, like people, come in all shapes and sizes. And another thing
was lumpy and itchy.
Yeah, see, and in the comics, a lot of the time. Some people don't want to hear it, but it was just Chrysanthemum was Chewbacca with black fur and some dreads, you know?
Yeah.
So they were evenly matched. They were the same size sometimes, but sometimes he looked like this, you know? And so expectations going into the show, and you know how they film stuff. He may be standing on a box or angles or something. But at the very end, when he tosses the fruit to him, he's not. Well, he's taller than all the rest, but he's not as big as mental image builds up.
I'd like to see them mod him somewhat with some new parts and do a Tarfals.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Tarfals would be cool too. Oh, and we do need a Valance in the publishing line. I'm working on a couple of customs there. I've had a head forever and I can't find the right body.
Well, that's
so yeah, number 5.
That's a good one. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
And
Yeah.
he's been on the shelf. I've bought an accessory set to give him his swords from the comics and the fruit and the mug, and I just need to get my customizing desk set up.
Yeah. 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 All right. So now we're on to number 4, right? And
Number 4.
this was merely coincidental. This
Oh,
wasn't
no.
this, or was it? That for number 4, I am bringing over the Mezco 112 Collective Ben Grimm, the Thing.
You did that on purpose. Look at that big old 4 right there on the
I
front.
know. It's right there. It's right there. I was torn on this because I have a lot of feelings about this set overall. There is some amazing stuff that Fantastic Four set does. There's some stuff that is not amazing, but the sculpted detail, the articulation, the the things to me that are important about Ben
The
Grimm,
things.
the things, right? His height, he is not massively tall. You can have, now there are alternate heads for this, but you can have a head of this Ben Grimm where you don't see teeth, because originally when he's the Thing, he does not have teeth. And his sad eyes of this particular head sculpt, I really, really, really love this figure. I've already said that I am hoping I can get a pair of more classic-y shorts for him. But I really do think that this might be the best figure of the Thing that I have in my collection, and that is not taking anything away from the other ones, because I have an attachment and love for all of the Ben Grimm figures that I have, because I have a lot of them. But this one is, to me, the closest to a mind's eye image of iconic Ben Grimm that I've gotten so far. So he comes in at number 4.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
And a lot of you don't understand how near and dear the Fantastic Four is.
Yeah.
That's why it's popping up. And I should have guessed this one, but I didn't, because I haven't opened mine yet, so I haven't
Yeah.
seen just how good they are.
Yeah. This to me would be damn near a perfect figure if he had swappable shorts, and if that whole set had alternate Kirby heads for all 4 of them. I would have lost my mind. But I'm that the fact that he didn't come with that head doesn't take away from how excellent this figure is. And I really do love him. I'm glad he's made of plastic and not polystone or whatever, like Dark Side. Like I didn't want a weird material. I wanted a plastic action figure, and he's great. And look at that. There is a figure with predominant soft goods on my top 5 list. So
Since I haven't opened mine up yet, and I haven't even watched any reviews, nothing. How tall is he compared to the like the Marvel Legends Thing, or a standard Marvel Legends figure?
I will get both of those.
No, we need a Todd McFarlane thing with this jacket. We need a pineapple spiky thing. I've been saying for years.
Yes. All right. So for a standard, here's Vulcan. I mean, they're pretty much the same height, right?
Yeah.
So that should clue you into the fact that, as far as Marvel Legends goes,
yeah,
there's a pretty significant difference, and
that makes me excited. That's
I've resigned myself in action figures that I'm okay usually with the Thing being bigger. It helps for display purposes, for one, because you can kind of put him behind the other 3, and that's fine. But if we're getting down to, I'm gonna be a big nerd about my favorite Marvel character, there are certain things that really should be in place, and from a height perspective and whatnot, this accomplishes it. And he's got some smoothness to the rockiness. I know that sounds weird to say, but
Yeah.
it's like there should be like to me there should be texture, but it shouldn't be, you know, I don't know.
Rocky.
And this figure wasn't mirrored like this figure was, because this figure has a lot of mirroring in the sculpt that was just done digitally. This figure does not have that.
Huh. I like it. I like it when my thing is bigger.
Yes. Well,
I've been waiting for that shorter 6 foot something thing.
it's this one.
And we got that. What was the first appearance that came with the Sky Sled or whatever back in the day? I liked that size and everything, but man, it needed to be.
I love Art Adams, but the stupidness of making a first appearance thing through a filter of someone who did not draw the first appearance thing, that I mean that made, I mean, it still makes my eye twitch. And
Yeah,
then those early Hasbro ones with the teeny tiny head, the height was great, but it's like he looked like a turtle.
Yeah. Because I always thought about finding another head to put on there to change the proportions. Still be short, bigger proportions, but never did it.
Wow.
Back in the classic comics, Ben was always broader than his teammates, but not necessarily taller.
That's exactly right. He shouldn't. He should be. He's not a square, but he's not a rectangle. I guess if you're not a square and you're 4 sides, I get it. But yeah.
Oh no.
So he was number 4. It was just a coincidence. Just a
coincidence. You know how to showmanship it up.
Ooh.
Oh dang. Oh dang.
Dangalang.
Okay. For number 4, I'm gonna go with. Here's another one that I didn't know I had nostalgia for until it was in my hands. And that's the ramen toy.
Oh, heck yeah.
80s Commanders antagonist Cyborg.
That's awesome.
Or the not Centurions hacker.
That's awesome.
This was another one. I didn't care. I remember seeing Ramen Toy with the 80s Commanders, right? Mm-hmm. And it was always like, oh, okay, those are cool. I think I had one back in the day. But when this popped up, or when he handed this at PowerCon, it was like, I had this. I had, and this, and he looks all, henchman-y.
Yeah, I can hear what his voice sounds like in my head without knowing what it sounds like.
I don't remember the cartoon much. I remember the commercials more than the cartoon. But do you hear something like, "Okay, boss, here we go"?
Yes, exactly that. Yes.
When I was a kid, this would come off and hop around the battlefield and spin around and knock stuff down, and then he would be just hopping. He'd be like back here sitting down, like this was his. But the magnets, the paints, just everything about this guy. Okay,
it's cool.
The reason he's not higher up, he's still in my top 5, but a few of the articulation points are kind of. I wish this was a ball joint so it would swing out or extend or something. I think it does, or it did, but I wish it did more than just rotate around.
Yeah.
But the rest of it has fairly nice. There's a lot to the toes and the foot and ankles and angles, and it's just, but more than that, more than it being action-y, is just the kick upside the head whenever I was messing with this. Oh, yeah. The foam inside, I wish it was more fit to the head. The foam just kind of holds it there, but it's not really super secure.
Yeah.
But still, again, the feels, the emotions, the nostalgia tug is, it puts it right. In fact, there wasn't any question. When I messed around with this for more than 5 minutes, it was like, oh, this is going to be on my top 5 list for sure. So
that's a good one. because
Yeah.
when you got that, I had fun playing around with it, and I don't know. I feel like I could get them if I wanted the new, like the more colorful ones or whatever. The redone 80s Commander, just the 3.
Mhm.
I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted.
From what I understand, I think those are selling out. I
Yeah,
don't think all 3 are available anymore
I know. I know.
because this reminded me that, yes, I did have one of the Centurions. I had Brickstone Dirt Guy, just something with
Iron
ground,
Rock Wall.
Yeah. Brick Boulder. So I would like to eventually end up with that to go along with this,
Yeah.
but he also teased Doc Terror.
Yeah.
And my brother had Doc Terror, and I remember messing with him too, and it looks so good in red. And
Yeah,
Jake Rockwell.
that's a good and interesting pick. I like it.
Yeah,
I
and it's
like
one of those that I didn't expect. Or we get our Star Wars, and we get our Marvel, and we get our GI Joes and everything, and I love them. But it's stuff like this that's really, and going to get a little bit more into that here in a minute. But it's stuff like this out of the blue, out of left field,
Yeah.
that I didn't know was going to affect me like it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bridge large meat. What? That's not right.
I'm pretty sure it was.
No, looking forward to the Marshall from Ramen. It looks
I have
good, but
that
I
one
don't have
ordered.
as much attachment. The only attachment I have to that is the gun. I had
Yeah.
that when I was a kid or
I
teenager.
have that one ordered. So because that Brave Star, He-Man, and Black Star are kind of like the Filmation triumvirate, of just very. It's like I didn't watch Brave Star a whole lot, but I did watch it. Black Star, I got like reruns of that at some point, but it's like I need those 3 together, and I've got a slick Brave Star or a Black Star custom, so they'll go well together. Yeah, yeah.
Chuck Hard Beef. We could start our own 80s line out of this chat. That's
Chuck Hard.
Big McLarge Huge. That's the bad guy.
Yeah, yeah. Evil Big McLarge Huge.
That's right.
Oh.
But yeah, this has stayed right in front of me for the past few months.
Yeah, that's a good choice. And the other one that you have, the green one,
Yeah, the drone.
the drone. I still have that little handle thing sitting on my desk where I know I won't lose it, but I've got to remember that it's there because I know exactly where it is.
And I've got it somewhere over there, and it's not really noticeable until you see it, and then it's like, oh, it is missing something.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Smash Punchington.
Yeah. Rock Strongo, Chest Rockwell, those were used in The Simpsons. Max Power, that was the other one.
Chunk Butt Stick. Villain McEvil. Bob Johnson. What? You need your bosses too. Okay, I really like Large in Charge.
Yeah, that sounds like a Cops and Crooks.
Yeah,
bad guy.
Chip Kickwell. Okay.
All right. So, we're into the top 3, right? Top 3.
Yes, number 3.
Number 3.
I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna decide my number 3.
All right. Well, this one shouldn't be a surprise that it is on the list, and I don't really have a whole lot to say about it that I haven't said a lot about on these streams and in other places. But for me, number 3 is the G.I. Joe Classified series, Chuckles. G.I. Joe Classified is my first G.I. Joe line. Chuckles is the only G.I. Joe character that I have actual, real nostalgic ties to. And I'm so thrilled that this figure came out and was spruced up as a convention exclusive of all things. I think they added some really cool things from the comics and whatnot to plus it up, and the alternate head, hands, all of the stuff that he comes with, how it ties into the PulseCon set with the Crimson Twins and Baroness. I think it's all been done so beautifully well that I'm so happy to have Chuckles in my collection and in my top 3. I am going to say that the reason why this isn't number 1 is my own fault. Because I love everything about this figure out of the box. My problem is that I love this figure with the Hank Pym head from Marvel Legends on it even more. And that is not the fault of this figure. It's not. It's not at all. I almost wish that I would have never done that. But this is how Chuckles is displayed in my actual classified collection. My vintage Chuckles that I made up with the Pym head and the extra poly on the shoulder, that has its own place with the vintage figure and whatnot. So I'm glad that I can make it feel more like the vintage figure with that head. And it's not the fault of this figure that it feels more right to me with that head, but I still can't get it out of my own head that way is more perfect than in my brain than right out of the box. So it's unfair, but that's probably why it's not like it didn't fight harder for number 1 on my list, but it's still magnificent. I love it.
I need to mess with mine more. I pulled it out for a couple of pictures or a video or something. I can't remember. And then I put it back in the box or back with the box. It's sitting right there. I did it to do your head swap to see how it looked and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I never got back to it. It's right there.
It's so good. It's so good. And I have 4 of them. Yeah. I have the one for the classified display, one as is in my Chuckles display, the modded one, and then the alternate beat up head with the brass knuckles and stuff on it as well.
And did you say it has poly on
the classic one? Does, yes.
Gotcha.
Poly is not on his shoulder. He's on his arm because that's how old poly works. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I need to mess with that more because somebody said, did you just swap the head or did you swap the neck and the head?
I just swapped the head and I used some blue tack.
Gotcha.
To keep it in place. Because that wouldn't be the one that I would like mess around a whole lot with and play with anyway. I have recreated that vintage figure for myself that way.
That's sometimes how I feel whenever we plan these kind of things. I'm like, they're all my favorites.
Yeah.
But there's one you almost hate to say out loud because the rest are going to get jealous and stuff.
And that's the thing. Even the ones that didn't make this top 5 or even didn't make my top 20, like I said, there's still so many that are freaking awesome. And I feel bad not having more of them on that list. But it's like a lot of G.I. Joe classified series figures and NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures are kind of like represented by 1 or 2 that are on my larger list because I could have put them all. I could have put like 10 or 12 of each of them on there. And, it's tough when you collect a lot of different things.
Because I can already tell you, the only NECA TMNT I plan to get this year is that wrestler set somehow, whenever. And that RAF, even though it's a RAF, will probably be on my top 5 at the end of this year because of, again, feelings.
Yep. Well, he's definitely the best one, but Donatello, as far as wrestling costume goes, he's definitely the second best one. He's the 80s wrestling costume one, so it's okay.
I like all 4 of them, but my top my number 3 is gonna feel like I'm copying you because this wasn't planned. In fact, you saw me get up and get it when somebody said it in the chat as we were about to start. I was like, how did I forget about that one?
Yeah.
Number 3 was
And
always.
this is the only one that I know of ahead of time too, just because you had to get up and get it. I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what
yeah.
the rest of your list was. Yeah.
Because I said it out loud. I went, oh shit. I went over, got it. It's also right here in front of me, came back, showed you, put it down.
Yeah.
But number 3, not to, and I'm not putting it at number 3 because you just did a G.I. Joe. Number 3 was going to be my other Hasbro slot in it, either way, one way or another, because these now fall back to my runner-ups. It was either going to be Marvel Legends Pretty Boy, because he's a Reaver, near and dear. That's my era of X-Men. So I've been building the Reavers, been wanting to those. There's also the Blob was going to be number 3.
He's in my top 10. He didn't make my top 5, but he's in my top 10.
Yeah. He does look a little young, but it's Blob, especially since I just did a Tales from the Tubs and messed with the other Blob, the first Blob. That makes this even better by comparison. It's one of those Egg McMuffins, you know. I like the sausage better.
Well, and that's the thing about my favorite Marvel Legends. Spoiler alert: Blob, Spiral, and Crystar are all amazing freaking figures, and they're all just kind of outside of this list, but they're all so good.
Yeah. But what knocked both of those into runner-up is I had to go. I don't know how I forgot about it.
This is the right choice. This is the right choice.
I had to go with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Snow Serpent.
Yeah. And the only thing that I was going to argue with you about this is that maybe you shouldn't do this one because maybe it would be better on your list next year because they're doing the classic one. But, you know.
There is that, but this still. I had a little bit more experience with G.I. Joe as a kid than Veebs did.
Yeah.
But not much. It was mostly the cartoon and a few figures. I remember Destro, and I say this every time I talk about G.I. Joe, the Targat, the Night Creeper, version 4 Snake Eyes,
wow,
and Snow Serpent. Snow Serpent was my main guy. So when they announced this and showed that it was going to, okay, it being deluxe and Amazon exclusive,
I think
made it harder to get, but I was able to snag one, and I'm so happy because, man,
and he could make your list 2 years in a row now.
What is it?
You could make your list 2 years in a row now.
Yeah. I can bring the retro back around because the retro's even more nostalgia tuggy.
Yeah.
But this, I've got, okay, I do have 2, but I only pre-ordered 1. I got the 1 and I liked it so much. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to need one with the pelt on top.
Yeah.
That's my commander. This is my specialist. And then the retros will be the Snow Serpent grunts.
Yeah.
That's how it works out in my head. But I did wait until after it actually released, but before it sold out.
Yeah. I'm with you. I stopped going crazy with army builders with G.I. Joe, but I had to have 2 of these simply because both looks are like the looks are so different and they're so cool. So yeah.
And a lot of the other army builders, you swap hats, you swap face or something. These make it feel, well, okay, it's just the pelt, right? But it makes it feel so different from the other figure.
Yeah.
It's better with the sausage. That's right. This is G.I. Joe sausage. Snowdrop wasn't, I got him and he's up there, but I wasn't ever a big snow job guy, you know.
He made my, when I was doing my company countdown, he made my Hasbro one list. Snow job did. He and Shipwreck both actually, and like I said, I could have put 15 more on there, but you know.
Now don't get me wrong, everybody loves snow job. Like I said, he's right up there.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good snow job.
Yeah. Especially when they ship on time.
That's right.
Oh, well, that was,
But I'm also a sucker for the snow guys too. I also
yeah.
got the bat. It's awesome.
Well, yeah,
And
that's the thing. The snow bat or whatever it is, that's the best bat, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember having this conversation. Oh no. The single eye in the middle is way better than the other one. Then we got back to your house, opened it up, and the
Because
other one is pretty
it was waiting
good.
for me when we got back from PowerCon,
PowerCon.
right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't think I got two of those. I think I only got the one, and I don't even remember how it's set up. It's in.
I only got one of those, but if I were to pick another one that I would get an extra of, it would be that one at this point.
Start the
Yeah.
year off with a snow job. You're not my dad? I don't know where they came from. Action figures with skis are awesome.
That's true.
They are. And it's amazing how much stuff they can pack into those packages. It's and the extras. And you want them all to go on the figures, but it's almost too much with Snow Job and the Snow Serpent.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
there's not too much in the sense of money's worth, but in display.
Well,
It's too much to display like that.
that I think that's very true because my classified collection is on clear acrylic tier steps, right? Like the
Mhm.
bleacher type steps. And so displaying Snow Job with his skis on is next to impossible. So I've got him with his snowshoes on, but even with the skis on his backpack, it's like this is almost too much for the yeah.
There's no way some guy's carrying all this. What did I just see?
In that heavy coat.
Oh, hopefully we'll get a Snow Job on the retro card. That and Chuckles, because a lot of people passed on Chuckles because it was exclusive and higher and deluxe-y.
I would be very interested in getting obviously a retro Chuckles, maybe with a different head sculpt on it. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Retro card Snake Eyes was very good. That is right up there. That's probably my main Snake Eyes.
Yep.
It mixes that, it brings that commando back, but it streamlines it a bit.
Yeah. I didn't think for 1 second that while I thought before it was released that the retro Snake Eyes would be able to bump the Ninja one out of like my main display,
Mhm.
it did.
It's him and Snow Serpents, Snow Job, and Timber.
Yeah.
Snow Chuckles.
Oh hell yeah. He can trade in the Hawaiian shirt for, a parka or a Hawaiian print parka or something like that.
Man, there were a lot of good figures this year. Okay, number 2.
Number 2. We are up to number 2. And this one was a surprise for me, not because that it was going to make this list, because this definitely is my number 2 figure of the year. It's because of what it was able to do and accomplish, because I didn't see it coming, and that is the NECA Dungeons and Dragons Strongheart figure.
Shush.
Now, Zarek could have been on this list as well because he's incredible. And so could Warduke. And actually, when I got Warduke way back in January of last year, he was like my favorite figure of the year for a long time. And I thought, okay, well, Warduke's definitely going to be making my top list because he's an awesome figure and it's going to represent this new line that is incredible. And I want to see it go, on until they make all of the figures. But then Strongheart came out, and I think that he is actually a better figure than Warduke. He is exactly the way that you should. I talked about Junkyard and Ultimates and how it was just like that almost literal update modernization of the vintage figure, but this was done in a way that made some aesthetic choices and changes from that original Strongheart design that is like exactly how you should update something like this. So Warduke as a character is unforgettable, and I love him, and I still love that figure, but I think Strongheart is a better figure.
And that was the one I was looking forward to the least because, oh, he's just vanilla. He's just the good guy. He's wearing silver and blue. He's not that exciting. But once you brought that, the mask flipping down, that sweet, sweet, majestic mustache, the sculpt work, the movement compared to Warduke, it's just like, okay.
It's like they learn things from Warduke. And don't get, like I said, I love that figure, and I was ready to be beaten up by by picking Strongheart over Warduke. It's not a character choice. It's really just, you can tell that this is a figure from a second series in a line that is building off of itself and improving.
Very wrong opinion.
That's how I live my life.
But no, messing with that, it changed. The figure itself changed my mind about the character in general.
And like I said, like the updates that they did with being able to bring the mask part of the helmet down over the face, it put the wings on the helmet in check. They're not sticking out to the side like the vintage one is. They're back like this as they should be. The plume on the top is handled in a way that is, I don't want to say realistic because we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, but it's not like an S on top of his head, right? It was just handled very, very well.
It's up there. It's on the main display.
Well, and also a line like this, I could have easily been picky choosy. And if I was going to be picky choosy, it was going to end up being like the bad guys or some of the weirdos. This figure right here made it so that I want every damn last one of those vintage figures and the Lost series that NECA made in 3 3/4 in the classic scale. I want every single one of those characters in this line.
For Series 2, he was almost the exact same situation as Series 1's Snake Doom.
Grimsword?
Serpent worthy.
Grimsword.
Yeah. He was another one of those was like, oh, okay, he's very 80s. All right. Hey, you like snakes on your action figures? Here's snakes.
Yeah.
But when I got it in hand, it was like, okay, I almost like this more than Warduke.
Yeah.
That's almost. But then Series 2 came along, and then there was this, and Strongheart changed my mind. And this whole line for not caring, maybe it wasn't not caring, but not knowing a lot about the line back in the day. But unmistakably Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. And they like I said, they've updated them beautifully. The box, I mean, Daniel Horn, who is a well-known and regarded fantasy artist, is doing the paintings for them. It's just done so well, and I can't wait for Elkhorn. I was hoping maybe he would sneak out before the end of the year, but I can't wait for him.
This next one on the list, have they even solicited? Yeah, they've solicited.
Yes, he's been solicited. I'm waiting for the next one and the next one and the next one.
Yeah, it's weird to not go with the pair, but he almost seems deluxe, right? He's Zarek with a lot more weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, late to the party. Yes, his number 4 was that thing.
Yep.
Elkhorn is any day now.
Good.
Okay, so wait, where are we at? Was that number 2?
That was number 2.
Oh, now I have to make this hard decision. I've had 2 that have been my top 2 for the last few months, month or 2 or something like that, because I shot a little short for the Geek Effects year-end rewind. and I picked this character as my favorite. But now it's bumped down to number 2 because it's a different day. It's a
Yeah.
it's a new year. Oh no, I just blew it, didn't I? I grazed the bottom corner. But my number 2 is the Felix Toys clown,
Ah, very nice.
the not Dark Knight Joker. Because what's that been? 10 years, 11, 12, 13, something like that. I don't remember when this movie originally came out, but there have been so many companies doing so many different versions of this figure.
Yeah.
And I've gotten the majority of them, but this makes me feel like I never need another one ever again. This is the ultimate version of this character, and it's not going to focus because my camera is terrible.
And
But for a third-party company that doesn't even have the license, the soft goods here are there's a lot of companies doing a lot of soft goods these days, and a lot of it's good, but this is
because they don't have to spend all the money on licensing, they can spend it on materials.
Yeah, exactly. They can spend it on prototyping because for a 1/12 scale and this having the layers it has, I mean, some of them are kind of faked, but you have the different parts, but it doesn't look like your normal 1/12 scale mini layers all puffed up, making the figure twice as big as it actually is. This is 1/1 scaled down to 1/12.
Yeah.
And it looks amazing.
Well,
Now,
and I like how they handled those layers, because when you get that small in scale, having all of those pieces would, I mean, he'd look like he's wearing a parka, or it could like threaten that. So yeah.
I mean, even the coat has another layer on the inside, has an inner lining.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
awesome.
this is actual scaled chain that lays, but doesn't look like big ass links like some companies usually do. Got the knife in the boot. It's amazing. The alternate head is kind of funky, is a little bit weird, doesn't quite look like the movie, but doesn't matter because it has this head. And hide me. There we go. So yeah, this came out in January. This has been on my desk in front of the monitor for a year because I knew this was going to make the list.
That's good. That's good because, you know, I've become last year when we made our list, I became more conscientious about avoiding recency bias. So I started making my notes as I got a figure that I think could be a contender. I just added it to the list. Now I pared it down, you know, because I ended up with like 40 or 50 figures on there, but it made me not forget some of the amazing things that came out earlier in the year.
Yeah. In years past, I've looked back through the videos I made for that year and then kind of picked and picked and picked. This year, I started right off the bat in January because I got this right after the Mezco 1/12 Collective Crow, which was last year's one of the top figures. So they were both side by side a lot of the year in front of my monitor, and just, I had to think back. Wait, January, December, January. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I wish this is so good. I don't think I have a Batman to go with it. That's this good.
Yeah.
And Felix Toys, I think they were the ones that did Inkblot. And he made the list last year.
Yeah, he did. I remember that. It's been a few years ago, though.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. And I think they're doing a re-release, too. If you go look at 5K Toys, maybe. I haven't been keeping track.
Love that Joker. Now they need to make that version like this good.
It's weird that third parties will go for this or the Joaquin Joker or all that, but I don't think any of them have made the Nicholson. Are they that afraid of Jack coming after them?
They might be. Yeah.
Crazy Uncle Jack popping up at their company at their front door, just like, no.
I've got a problem with what you're doing. And now
you can't handle the truth. I got the Crow in 2023, January. He was great. Also, yeah, he I do believe he was December, and it was one of those, well, I just got this a couple weeks ago, but it's my favorite figure ever, which I hate to do sometimes, but you can't help it. It's you love what you love. Yeah, Nicholson has better lawyers.
Yeah. And Mezco Death Dealer was not this year because Mezco Death Dealer made my top list last year. I see that in the chat because I was just looking over that list the other day. So
I can't keep track of year to year.
Oh, well,
hot time in the old town tonight.
You can't rub his rhubarb.
That's right. Oh, wait. Oh,
there's Ace.
Somebody did. I forgot about that. Somebody is doing a Joker 89, and I can't remember who.
Oh, boy. Okay. Hey, there's Ace. Ace just joined.
What's going on, Ace?
Ace made the list.
Made the list.
Yeah.
I did not get the Figure Arts Indie. In fact, I only got a couple of the Hasbros, and I haven't opened them yet.
I didn't either, but I might still get it. If nothing else, so I can display him with that smiling head because I love it.
I did see some pictures after that, and I was like, dang it. That does look pretty good.
Yeah, I'm thinking about missing those 80s, the one 80s Commander notes. I'm thinking back to your pick. Damn it. All right.
Yep. I just watched Ace's New Year's live stream too with the new stuff. At the end, there was a Mad Max car. So. I did get the No Way Home Green Goblin. I haven't opened it yet. That's actually one of the reviews I plan on working on here in the next couple weeks. Get it out.
Maybe we can make the list for 2024.
I've put off putting my Marvel Legends Spider-Man stuff back in the house in the office until I get that.
No.
So it's there, but it now counts as 2024.
Yeah, it does. All right. So, have we
number
arrived?
one?
Are we at number one?
I think we're at number one.
We're at number one. All right. Let me get a little drink here.
Oh, no. Allow me to hydrate.
Yeah. So I can be called a cheater for this. That's perfectly fine. I know that we are doing our top 5, and usually that means that it would be one figure per slot, especially if there's not a box set. But in a surprise to nobody, number one.
I caught it at the last second. I was like, oh, yep.
Mega Man Series 1 from Jada Toys. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about these toys, and they are all awesome. And I have literally been waiting my entire life for Mega Man action figures that are essentially this. And they are so awesome. If you have the Street Fighter figures, they're different stylistically. They're every bit as good and maybe even more accurate to walking off of the page of the control art than those are at this point. They're just so damn good. And even if you're not a big Mega Man fan, you should, for $20, because their MSRP is $19.95. You should give at least one of these a chance, because I promise you will be impressed by them from an action figure standpoint. They are scaled perfectly to a 6-inch line. All the materials, the different finishes, colors, articulation. They don't have a lot of double joints, but so many of them function so well. Everything has just been thought about and done so well that nostalgia aside, these would still be up on my list because they're such good action figures. But the fact that they are amazing figures and it's one of my favorite properties that I can just say from an action figure line perspective, it's never really happened. There have been a lot of Mega Man figures, but not like a line. These are absolutely, absolutely, absolutely number one for me. No contest this year.
I don't know why. I don't know why I was sitting here wondering what number one. I swear I hadn't even. But as soon as you started talking, I was like, oh, more than click. You've been talking about those all year, or at least since they were announced. When was that?
That it's been like
2016?
18 months. 18 months.
No,
And
18 months.
18 months. And they had some delays, but it was to get things done correctly, and it was totally worth it. Totally worth it. We got to play with some not quite final samples of them at Comic-Con, and there were a couple of things that I remembered about them thinking, okay, they were improved and corrected or whatever else. It's like the joint pegs were painted then. They're not painted anymore. There was a bit of like sponginess to some of the joints too. It's gone. It's just, you would think that characters that wear these like giant boots and things like that, the knee articulation wouldn't work as well as it should. I mean, June talked about this in our discussion. It's like it's cut out in the back so that, it's just, they're so good that I told you I'm going to send you at least one of them because you need to play around with it, because just from an action figure standpoint, they're just so awesome.
And I told you I'm already down for Trunk Boy. Just that's my guy.
Woodman and Iceman are the two best robot masters for me. It's like Woodman, of course, has to be on my list, but yeah, it's I hope that these find an audience that is appropriate for Jada to be able to just keep going with it. I've set hopefully realistic expectations for myself, simply because I've had my heart broken so many times by attempted Mega Man figuring. But I really do think this is going to be one of those things that, even if people aren't like super nerd Mega Man fan like me, if you give them a chance and once they get them in hand, just the figures themselves are going to just knock people out because they're so good.
It's one of those designs that it's hard to picture in super articulated form, but they did it.
I've put this figure through its paces because Mega Man has a lot of iconic poses from art and stuff like that. This can hit every single one of them. You get alternate heads, hands, effects. It's for $20. For $20, it's like we don't live in those times anymore.
And I'm gonna. This is not my number one. This was one of my runners up, but I had this ready to go if I couldn't figure out a runner up, because it's one of those that didn't expect.
Yep.
Who's gonna make a Chester Cheetah super articulated, beautiful paint apps?
Yeah.
Jada.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I need Cutman.
You don't have long to wait, because spoiler alert for our conversation that will be posted soon, Series 2 is going to be hot on the heels of Series 1. So,
remind me to post that too. I was thinking, okay.
No, it actually worked out perfectly, because if that goes up like this week, I'm going to be doing features of each one of these. I was going to like rush that out to get like pictures and stuff up as quickly as possible in little short video type things, but I really needed time to live with these for a while, and I'm glad that I did. They're just so awesome, and I do think Fireman's going to end up being like the sleeper of the first series for a lot of people, because the translucent plastic, the removable effects, swappable pieces and whatnot. It's so good. They're so good.
Sometimes you just got to savor a little bit before.
Yeah. Yep. And that's
Getting
exactly
into
what
it.
I needed to do. Yeah. Yeah. So, because these got to me in late December, there was no competition after that. After I opened them, it was like, these are number one.
I was hoping that Chester Cheetah was your number one. Always liked Metal Man.
Yeah, Metal Man's
Need
cool.
all the Robot Masters.
Metal Man's got the best weapon in Mega Man history. For
Are these going to retail?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Big Bad and Entertainment Earth. There are stores that are on Amazon that is fulfilled by Amazon that have them too. So yeah. And I think it's gonna grow from there. Target may be tougher, at least at first, because Mega Man doesn't have the Street Fighter oomph to it, which is fine. But I think they're going to become more and more available. Yeah.
Well, you just sold a set or sold a Mega Man. Oh, come on, Robo, reveal that number one flocked Moss Man. I've got one sitting right there.
Yeah.
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 And I've got the oven mitts beside it to do
the shifty eyes.
Yes, I get to that. Like I said, I'm getting my paint desk and everything. So I'm trying to get everything out. So it's coming along. No. It's flocked Splinter. I'm actually I don't know if anybody can guess my number one because it kind of surprised me. It's one of those out of left field figures I got this year. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea.
It surprised me
because that Joker that I know has been one of your favorites for a long time. Then Snow Serpent would have been the two that I would have been like, okay, it's probably going to be one of those. But
yeah, this that Morbius is up. That Morbius is right there. I've got him out here. He was on the list and Catman's right there. He was in the running at some point. Flocked Darth Vader. Actually, before I get too, hold on a second. It could have been this. I was at Walgreens the other day when I found your Mario thing.
Oh yeah.
And I thought, well, since I'm buying that, I'm going to get me something. And I got this Darth Vader, Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, I was just like, what is that? Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent.
Yes, it's awesome. But that's not my number one. My number one. Oh no, I didn't get Captain Carrot. I didn't get Alf. I haven't opened Danhausen yet. I did get the 2-pack, so there is one to open.
Good.
Yeah, the other one is up there.
Good.
But my number one, this isn't nostalgia. This isn't any kind of, oh, I had this as a kid. It's something I've talked about before, but I finally got a version of or something from this line this year. And it's simply for the fun factor. I still haven't seen it on any of these. I've had so much fun.
Mine was terribly predictable. Yours is completely
with the Astrobots Vulcan.
Wow.
This big chunk of robot. I got this in the mail and it was like, okay, cool. I've talked about Astrobots before. It's been a while. But then this, as soon as I got it out of the package, it was like, good Lord, this thing is, it's amazing. It has individual fingers.
Wow.
On each knuckle, on the hands. And then, he's big and construction-y looking and he's got drills and stuff, but those also come off and you got claws.
Wow.
And then this, that's the stuff right there. But it has movement, but then it pops out and you get extra movement to this. This pops out, you get extra here, and the
So what is this?
skirts flap up and you can come up and out. For as chunky as it is, it moves better than some thinner figures.
What is this? What is it?
It's just Astrobots. It's just a overseas company that makes robot figures.
Wow.
And it's just oh, how about this? Boop. I found the batteries.
Oh, dang.
I had to order them on Amazon, but yeah. So there's a light up feature. The one point, and even then he can still look up and have some tilt and everything. The head is sunk down in there, so it doesn't have as much movement as you would like, but he's got intakes and bumpers and knees that go and ankles that go way the hell out and down, and there's double toes.
Double toes.
Here and here and here. And then this cover piece comes down and there's all kinds of movement. If you want to strike a pose with this, it is strucken. Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
And so it will be strucken.
These will do it. I mean, there's even torso and crunchies and all over the place. This makes me want more Astrobots. I also got 2 of the females. They're amazing too, but I need to go back and get Apollo. He's got kind of a ape-like proportions.
And what's this one called?
Vulcan.
Vulcan.
Okay. And I think there's another one up for pre-order right now that's more in a darker color scheme, blacks and such.
Really?
And it looks good too. They all look good. I even love the yellow, greenish yellow. It's kind of Constructicon.
Yeah.
But it surprised me. It's like I said, out of nowhere. I just I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. But now that I like it, I love it.
That's
and then
cool.
all you have to do is this, slip this back over, back to drills.
Wow.
I haven't counted the amount of joints in this thing, but there's a ton, a butt ton. There's a shitload.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you put this, I mean, in pictures and stuff, you think, oh man, that thing is like huge, but no, it's not. It's regular size guy in a mech suit. Well, regular size robot in a mech suit, I guess, but
yeah,
there is so much. It blew my mind how much I like this.
Yeah. Huh.
Did you mention the lights in the eyes? Oh, are there lights in the eyes too? I don't think there's lights in the eyes. I think that's the smaller figures. Plus, there's a cowboy Astrobot.
What?
it was an exclusive somewhere, and it's just one of the bots with some slight changes, cowboy hat.
Nice.
But that's a cowboy.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
I mean,
I could have guessed for the rest of the day and not.
Well, this is one of those things that I slipped into a play day, and then it slipped into my heart.
It drilled its way right in.
It drilled its way through my torso into my action figure loving heart.
See, the fastest way to a man's heart is through his chest.
Man, it's amazing. Just everything's double jointed. Well, the knees aren't, I don't think. But still, I mean, you can still get back there.
Yeah.
It's posy.
That's what she said.
So yeah, kind of a surprise entry, something I wasn't expecting at the first of the year, something I've talked about before and always been interested in, but never had in my hand. And now I have it in my hand.
I'm thinking we need to do a Mega Man and Vulcan team up type of thing then.
Oh,
Dang.
that line has Robot Masters. How about
Well, he recalls Drill Man, who is a robot master with drills for hands.
that's right. Here's your drill hands.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. It is. Oh wait, the cowboy is called Oblivion Land Fave OB01 Bounty Hunter Crevo.
That's a mouthful.
I was looking to pick up Athenia. Athenia is awesome. I think I prefer. And I only have them in the boxes because they're stored until I find space for them. But Artemis. I think I prefer Artemis. She's got big old wings and a big claw for the left hand. That is articulated.
Well, that is cool. That's a cool figure, man. That's a worthy choice, it looks like. It's always something, because I had that last year. It hits different when your favorite figure of the year is like its own, it's just its own merits, right? It's not the nostalgia thing pulling to it. And like I said, I had that last year. Now, granted, I love the character of the Headless Horseman, but I don't think that I have like nostalgia for an old toy or something. So having that figure be my choice last year, it felt different. Not in a better way, just it hits different when you pick something that it doesn't have that like mental baggage, and I don't mean baggage in a bad way either, that goes along with it. Yeah.
Because I feel like, I collect Marvel Legends. I collect Star Wars. You would think I'd go straight to that I collect G.I. Joe. Yeah. That would be my number one. But no, it's a cool robot figure I got this year. And it's...
Yeah.
Vulcan looks like emboss for a Mega Man level.
Yeah, it does, for like a Dr. Wily stage robot. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
That would also fit as a mini boss in the X series.
Yeah, it would. In Mega Man X, even more so, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
So we ended up picking robots for number one.
We picked Mega Man and Mega Man adjacent, guys.
That's right. My number one is Master Wang from Fury Planet. Are they still called Fury Planet? Or did they... Oh, they're Fury Planet. I think the Turtles, the company is now called Rage Toys or something like that.
Is that what it is now?
Because they showed the Not Donatello and Not Splinter. Yeah.
Donatello be soon?
They have final pictures out of the factory.
Do they?
Should be this month or next month.
Good. I can't wait for that. It's about... it's a slow burn, but yeah.
Oh, I got Spiral. She was high on the list. Mutton Junkyard haven't shipped yet.
See, so you know what? Astrobots and Mega Man and his original creation was like a tribute to Astro Boy. So there's even more going on here. Yeah.
Because, I should have known what you were picking for number one, right?
Yeah,
okay, that's my own pure, more worried about what the hell I was going to pick out of my 9 figures and what order than thinking ahead of what. Because we didn't look at each other's top 5s before.
No,
you jumped on 3 minutes still.
Yeah, I only knew that Snow Serpent. Well, I would have guessed that Snow Serpent would have been on your list, but I only knew that it was on your list because you got up and grabbed it. So,
yeah. But it's not like I was like, hey, this is going to be my number one.
Yeah.
Plan accordingly. Do a robot too.
Yeah. I did 3.
Yeah. Cheater.
You know what's funny about that though? When I was a kid playing Mega Man, I thought he was a kid or a guy in a suit. When I first played, like Mega Man 2 was my first Mega Man. It wasn't that he was a robot. He was a kid in a suit.
That's what I always thought too, but I didn't play a lot of Mega Man back in the day.
I did. I played enough Mega Man for everybody, probably.
Yeah, you were playing Mega Man a couple of months ago. at least in my presence. Spiral was this year. I
Yeah,
was
Spiral
scrolling through.
was like first quarter, like February, March.
Yeah.
Somebody said that to me when I was talking about the Marvel Legends live stream. I said, I can't believe that Spiral didn't make one of their lists. And somebody said she was last year, but I went back and looked. She was definitely this year.
Yeah,
Or
my video was this year.
Yeah, 2023.
Robo, did you pick up the Play One Toys Black Warrior? It's a third-party Darth Maul. No, I did not. I'm pretty happy with the figure arts, but I did see it. Isn't there? It looks good. It looks fantastic. But wasn't there a ankle, like the boots hindered ankle a little? I saw some people slicing the boots open in order to free up the ankles. Okay, JB Love.
See, look at it. Speaking of ankle, look at that
Man,
ankle
see,
on that giant boot.
again, that's one of those designs that's like that will never be super articulated.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it is, baby.
Appreciate it, JB. Happy New Year, y'all. Here's to the year of the dragon being as awesome as it sounds for all of us. P.S.
Yeah.
My number one is Lim Toys, the rest of us, Joel and Ellie 2-pack. I remember talking about that, seeing pictures since, and that does look good too.
Yeah. So this is the year of the dragon. NECA did a year of the rabbit set that really won't come out until this year, but 2023 was year of the rabbit. So what would they do for a year of the dragon box set then? Hothead in there somehow, or yeah.
Well, I mean, somebody mentioned that Mythic Legions dragon maybe coming.
God dang.
Dragons are cool.
There's a Dr. Wily Castle stage end boss is a dragon from Mega Man 2, and it's awesome.
Jumping back because I missed a couple of super chats. Andrew said Ben is landscape, not portrait. That's right.
Just about. Yes, indeed.
Rufus, I'm sitting in the hospital with my wife, and between the live and tub videos, y'all are keeping me sane. Happy New Year's, boys.
Well, happy New
everything
Year's.
Works out.
Yeah. It's if nothing else, we try to be escapist.
Yeah. And Stupid says, so when Mega Man exploded, whenever he was killed, must have messed with Veeb's head if he thought he was a human.
I mean, like all video game characters like died, right? When like Mario, it's like, oh, he's dead. So that didn't even really register with me.
Yeah. Oh, is the license is gone? I mean, right? Or is it?
Yeah. Their license ended at the end of 2023 or 2022, something like that. Yeah. Which is unfortunate because I really wish we would have gotten the Mummy. And if the Mummy would have been the last one, that would have been perfectly fine. But man, I wish we would have gotten the Mummy. Because that's the thing. I love those figures. I mean, Dracula from NECA's line just is in my top 10. He just barely didn't make this list. I like the Universal monsters. I'm not a huge like Universal monsters nerd and know everything about them or whatnot, but damn, been getting some good Universal monsters figures.
Oh, we have a Hiya Toys Gira coming up for Year of the Dragon.
Oh man. That's 3. Oh, Tiamat. That's what we need. We need a damn Tiamat.
What did I just see the other day? I did not realize. Maybe I was Googling the other night. I didn't realize that Tiamat had a figure or had a vintage top.
Yep. Figure. And I've almost just did it and bought one. But to get one that is complete with unbroken wings is very expensive. So I'm like, do I want to do that, or do I want to go a little bit more economical? And I think there are even third-party people who make wing repair kits for it. So yeah,
you're killing me.
Yeah,
learn to fly again. And then you said party people, and my brain went elsewhere. Third-party people. But yeah, Tiamat. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
could do not the
that would be the
Mummy.
drag.
Yeah, they should Jada should take off with your idea of serial monsters in the style of Universal. If they did a mashup, would they have to license either? Probably, huh?
Probably both, yeah.
Yeah, to market it as that. What?
Because that's how like NECA does the Turtles and Universal Monsters thing. They have both of those licenses. Playmate
Yeah.
back in the day had Star Trek and Turtles and Universal Monsters all at the same time. So, yeah.
Fun. Oh, Josh says top 5: NECA Dracula, NECA Creature from the Black Lagoon, NECA Casey Jones as Phantom, Retro Marvel Legends Toad, the Smoking Movie Bowser.
You know what? The Smoking Movie Bowser was like, he was in my top list all year until there was kind of a rush at the end, and he got slightly bumped out of it. But that, from a playability, cool concept toy standpoint, that Smoking Movie Bowser is fantastic, or vaping, or whatever.
The vaping Bowser. I've looked at yours, and then I've seen those figures in the stores, and for Mario toys, they look pretty sweet.
The effect is cool, and it's weird, but the eye effect on the movie Mario figures too is kind of cool that they follow. It's weird, but it's kind of cool.
It's not something you expect in a toy aisle.
Yeah.
Oh, Ace, appreciate it. Wishing everyone a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2024. It is going to be an awesome 12 months ahead. Great meeting Robo and Veebs at PowerCon. Look forward to seeing some of you at Joe Fest in May. Cheers.
Wow,
oh, so you're going to be at Joe Fest, huh?
Wow. Joe Fest, eh?
Let's see. Didn't the Jada Lugosi Dracula just come out this fall?
No,
they showed that at Comic-Con last year.
Yeah.
And it had to have been last year because there wasn't one before that.
And that Lugosi was just Lugosi. That figure is from the theater production, right? It's not.
It comes with the poster and stuff, right?
It's not the movie based. That was
because
just Lugosi on his own.
Because the Monsters license doesn't get you Lugosi.
Right.
You have to separate, right?
Yep. Because the NECA Lugosi Universal Dracula has the Universal logo and the Lugosi logo on the packaging. No. So that the Jada's Lugosi Dracula was their second Dracula, and it was not Universal.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yes.
Only loophole to make it in the first place.
I think for a long time the Lugosi estate was tough to work with, and I think, man, that the glow in the dark one that was just released with the vinyl cape, which, man, as just a subline, a small subline of what, 5 figures, 6 figures, whatever it is, those NECA Remco tribute Universal Monster figures. I've had the first 3 for a long time, but man, the Phantom and Dracula are so freaking awesome with their vinyl capes. It's so cool.
Are you going to get the Monsterizer?
I think I am.
Yeah.
Well, no, I am. I already ordered it. What am I saying? Yeah. I already ordered it. It's on NECA's site. Yeah. I normally would probably not get something like that, but that is such a central thing to that tribute that you have to have it. Yeah. And it's cool. That it looks awesome. So for me, a guy who likes Universal Monsters and really appreciates them, but isn't like one of my main things, I've got what, 3 or 4 versions of them now.
Yeah. I'm just a casual fan.
Yeah.
Give me everything.
Yeah. Oh
A
God,
figure.
a NECA Fortress of Fangs. That you know how large that would be. Oh man.
It'd be ding dang large.
Yeah, the Jacob Marley is amazing on my list for sure.
Oh man, look at that, 4 o'clock. And here I was thinking, man, we'll be done with the top 5 quick.
Yeah, no, I think it wasn't like too quick, and I don't think it was too protracted either. I think we said probably the things that we needed to say about them
Yeah.
without going too crazy. Because I can talk about my favorite stuff all damn day.
He's large.
Yeah.
Do you like the animated Venom? Animated series. If it was 90s cartoon, I probably missed it. See, there you go. Rage Toys, not Donnie and not Splinter. It says it's like the final pictures they posted here in the past week or so, and then going to get it through the factories before Chinese New Year. And
Okay, that's good.
out.
And then hopefully not Raph or not Mike is up next, maybe. Hopefully.
Gotta be though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Top 5 foods of all time.
Oh man, somebody just said bright white. Maybe Iceman will be the one that I send you because he's definitely got some bright white going on here instead of just Mega Man. So
Some bright white. Oh, do the Brendan Fraser movies count as Universal monsters? I don't think they do they?
that wasn't that Warner's? Oh no, that was Universal. That was Universal. No,
Was it?
There's a Mummy ride at Universal Studios.
Oh. What is the name of that song? That is by Crash Test Dummies. Once there was this kid who
I mean, I guess technically it's a Universal monster movie.
I've never been to Universal Studios.
Been a couple of times. It's a very different vibe from like Disney World.
The Tom Cruise movie counts as Universal. Yeah, because they were trying to rebuild the universe, right? With
the dark universe, is that what they were calling it, that or whatever, or something like that, that never happened. It was like that actually happened already, and it was called Monster Squad.
That's right. That's it.
Yep.
It's been a while since I've listened to it. What's going on, Dub? Good luck Googling. I can never remember how many M's are in the title. But oh, was Van Helsing Universal?
Probably. I don't know though.
Get some Van Helsing figures or some League of Extraordinary Gentlemen figures.
Man, that movie. Wasn't that Connery's last movie?
I want to say yes, but I'll also admit that I like that movie. So,
you know what's funny about that though? He did that movie, but I'm glad he wasn't ultimately Gandalf, but he was Peter Jackson's first choice for Gandalf, but he didn't do it because he didn't understand it. But he did League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Oh, which conceptually I think is even more out there, but that's fine.
So
you're the man now, dog. Punch the keys.
What? In fact, YouTube just showed me the clip where they meet M.
Really?
Yeah, the other day I had to click it.
You like it.
I'm so yeah. Okay, YouTube, thank you. Click. The rings of power.
He's gonna cover the lands in the second darkness.
Okay. You ready to get out of here?
Yeah, this was a fun top 5, and now that we've done this, I'm gonna put my top 20 out there, and finish it up because it's like
I thought about shooting an actual video for the top 5, but then it was like, you know what? Here it is.
Yeah.
It's on the channel.
Yeah. And this way I can say my top 5 are in order, but then everything else on there, it's like I love you equally, and so you're all number 6 or whatever. So
number 6 consists of 65 figures.
exactly.
Fly, you fools.
Fly, you fools.
Okay. You shall not pass.
Gosh. Oh man. Well, Leslie and McKellen.
That's right. But yeah, no food talk today because I am starving to death.
No food talk, food eat right now.
Yeah. If we start talking about food, I'm just gonna drop everything and walk out in the middle. It's like, okay, I'm out.
Oh.
But this was we set out to do a top 5. We did a top 5.
And we did it in a controlled time frame that seems reasonable. Which
that's right. 2 hours is what we usually shoot for.
Yeah.
It's not a what the Roboners. I've been trying to come up with a name for the Patreon, and yeah, Roboners and the Veebs. What? That doesn't work. Chester Cheetah.
He's worthy.
Yeah, he's worthy.
I mean, say what you want. Jada put out 10 action figures in 2023, and every single one of them is awesome.
I think somebody mentioned they skipped some letters to go up to A-list. You know, it was just like, oh, we're going to make action figures. Watch you right here.
It's like, I remember when the Universal Monsters came out, we were like, somebody knows what they're doing over there, and this is out of left field. And then,
yeah, because I think they had done the new RoboCop movie figures, but I never messed with any of those.
Yeah,
I saw them on pegs at Toys R Us, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So I worked so hard to make the intro for the live stream that I forgot to make an outro.
All right.
So
until
y'all are just going to have to watch the intro again
to
count us out. And then I'm probably going to miss,
We'll be back soon.
Yeah, we'll be back soon. And I'll work on a proper outro.
Yeah.
Us walking into the sunset or something.
But be on the lookout for my discussion with June from Jada this week. So
in fact, now that you reminded me, it'll probably be Thursday.
It's a fun chat.
I've got another Tub Tales for tomorrow. Oh yeah, thank you.
Yes.
You know, Tub Tales, woo,
woo, woo.
Or I got to do this too. Robo Dub Dub. Come look at my tub. Wintzilla on YouTube came up with that one. So I'm gonna play us out
in this tub.
Come look at my tub. We be tubbing. But no, okay. I'm gonna play us out with the intro again. You get to enjoy that, and then we'll see you next time.
Later.
Later.